Welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? This is your go-to source for practical advice and support when considering if a divorce is the right answer for you. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll uncover a variety of topics such as child custody, property division, and self-care. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here is your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello and welcome back to our fifth and final day of our week-long Breaking Ties interview series, where we've been talking with Kristina, a travel designer on the luxury side. And the main point of this week is really to get some good information from whoever is our guest. And we've gotten that this week. It's been fantastic. I've learned a few things here and there on the travel side of things that I wasn't even familiar with. So if you haven't gone back and listened to the rest of the week, you're going to want to do so because Kristina shared some fantastic information. Now, I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst. And Kristina is with Travel A Latte. And being with Travel A Latte, Kristina, what does that allow you to do for those looking to get into the travel side of things?
Yeah, so I'm a travel designer. It can be a travel advisor, agent, is what kind of people think about it. But I'm a designer because I'm designing customized itineraries and kind of being kind of a one-on-one with other people. More, I try to go a step above than just what a travel agent kind of used to be. It's just, here you go. I've created it. These are your options. Good luck, So I like to have it be a personalized approach. But yes, Travel A Latte. I love to travel and I love to help other people travel. And I know one question we get, and then you mentioned luxury travel, is what is luxury travel? And, that doesn't mean that I only help people that need a 5-star, luxury, expensive vacation. I know finances can be an issue, especially, post-divorce. But I consider luxury as somebody who is doing a lot of the work. So I also know that time is a big issue, post-divorce. If you're, especially if you're the one taking care of children and you're working and, regardless, of the situation, it's, we only have so much time. So having a travel advisor that can help with the planning and with the booking and all of that can definitely be helpful. So that's how I help people by doing that. And I do work with any budget. So it's, not only the expensive trips. But.
Right, exactly. Because you are correct. After a divorce, the finances can be a little unsettled and finding some footing and stuff as far as, going on a trip might seem a little daunting. And I think it's great how you're much more hands-on and involved than, say, just a traditional travel agent might be, if you will. You're there for the whole duration of the trip. You want them to be successful, which is great. Now, this week, you've talked a lot about traveling abroad and stuff and how you've lived overseas. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool if you shared with us some of the differences of traveling internationally as opposed to here in the States.
Yeah, so I've actually been to more countries than states, which I'm working on. I'm working on trying to see more of the U.S. But also ready to go back, overseas at any moment. But so I lived in Germany for 1.5 years, traveled to 30 countries in that time, traveled multiple places because when you're right there in Europe, it's so easy to get to other locations. A couple hours away, you're in Belgium, and a couple hours away, you're in the Netherlands. A quick flight away, you're in Italy. I mean, they're so easy to get around. So I do recommend international travel. I am a specialist in European travel and helping fit those pieces together, how to travel to the different places, where to go. I mean, when we moved there, I didn't know, a lot of the countries I didn't know about. So I think European travel especially is just, there's so many cultures, so much differences, so much beauty, great activities for kids and adults. I mean, there's just something for everyone. The food is fantastic. I mean, it's wonderful. Once you go, I tell my first timers, just so you know, you're going to go and you're going to love it and you're going to want to go back and go somewhere else. And, so, warning, but, yeah, I mean, it is just, it's very different. And I think that's what draws people there. And I know that I have a desire to go to Asia and to South America. Those are, some future trips that we're trying to plan as well. So there's just so much to see and do kind of outside of your norm.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's great. And there are differences, but a lot of times people might be apprehensive about the differences, but really, you want to embrace that and just go with it and go, hey, let's go see what it's like someplace else outside the borders. So I think it's a really great idea. I've been Cancun a couple times. I loved it. The all-inclusive. It was just great for just completely unwinding, kind of situation. But I would like to get to Europe, and I would like to see a lot of countries over there as well in the future. So, well, we've had a great week with you. I really want to leave you a little bit of spot here for some final thoughts that you'd like to leave everyone with.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't mean to scare you by saying everything's different in Europe, because there are a lot of English speaking places. And obviously working with someone who is familiar with the different countries is helpful. Hello. I can be that person, but, yeah. So I think, it's not as scary as you think it is going to be, as long as you have the right tools. But yeah, travel is something that really, it opens up so much of our minds, to what the world is around us. There's so much to this world, to see and do, and so many cultures and so many differences. I mean, we've been to Istanbul, to Egypt, and those two really stand out as just a totally different culture than what we're used to. The call to prayer, the mosques and things like that. I mean, that's not what I'm used to here in Illinois. So, there's just so much more to the world, so many differences. And I think that's important to see for yourself, if you haven't, and also to share with kids. I think that traveling with kids outside of the country, showing them the world around them is so important. And that's something that, our kids, they know all these different languages. They know all these different ways of getting around, that some people train, or, I lived in Europe and did not have a car. I had a bike that the kids rode in the front of this, seat in the bike. And that was our car. And that was normal to them. In that time. And now I'm like, no, we have a car, we can't do that to the grocery store here, but we could there. And so, I mean, there's just so many differences, and I think that's good. And I also think just having that time to unplug, travel is expensive. I understand that. And I understand that can come in the way, but prioritizing it, I think is 100% necessary, especially when kids are young and going into the, early teen years and into the teen years. I think that time is really important, just to have that one-on-one time to unplug, to spend with each other, and just to see the world. We in America tend to have the thought that we have to wait till retirement to travel and to see the world. And I think that it's more important to travel before retirement, because we don't know, we don't know what the future holds. We don't know, what our health is going to be. And so I think it's important to do that. And the memories that you have from travel are going to be totally, ingrained in your mind. I feel like even more than the day to day. So.
Right, exactly. And I think that goes right along the lines, as divorced parent myself, it's the memories. You're trying to create new memories. You're not trying to erase old ones, but you're just trying to add to the next chapter of everybody's life. So we're moving on from the divorce standpoint. So whether you're divorced or not, doesn't really matter. The memories are still going to be there. I still remember them as a kid, when I was a kid. So I think that's stuff that kind of sticks with, even your kids, or even just you or your friends who you hang out with. The whole, you remember the time when.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, goodness. So I tell you what, I appreciate you coming on to the podcast, Kristina. The information you shared has been nothing short of fabulous. And if anyone, is looking for a travel designer, Kristina is a great person, and she's going to treat you well. So don't hesitate to reach out to her. Contact information's in the description. This is actually the end of our 5-day week. How do you feel it went?
Good. I hope I was able to share a lot of tips with you. So
Absolutely. It was great. Yeah, people are going to love it. I appreciate it. And if you haven't seen the previous days episodes, go back, listen to them. We talk about different topics each day. Some days are kids, some days are solo travel. Go back, find the information. You're gonna learn something from that. And that's going to conclude this episode and week of Breaking Ties interview series. If you need anything, Kristina's here for you. I'm here for you. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. And happy travels.